Hello, everybody on Instagram. We're doing Instagram today for the first time. We're moving on up in the world. So we're on Facebook and we're on Instagram. So uh, doing what we do. That's what we're doing. Doing what we do, and we're welcoming the rest of the team to come on board with us this evening. There we go. We are up and we are running. We are going. Miss Mary, hello. Pamela, hello. Trey, good evening to you. Tamara, good evening. Sandra, hello. Charlesetta, good evening to you. Hey, Mimi, how you doing? Christina, I need an appointment. Gwen, good evening. Hey, Faith, how are you? Nancy, I hope that you are doing better. Omega, hello. Good to see you. And let's see, who else? How we rolling? All right. I'm trying to keep up. I'm trying to keep up. Okay, thank God it is Friday. Nia, good evening to you. Barbara, hello. Mardell, hello to you. Hey, Brenda, yeah, I'm getting it together. Dr. Webb, good to finally hear from you. I hope you're doing well. Otis, good evening to you. Cynthia, good evening to you. Camila, hello. Katina, hello. Brenda, good evening to you. Hello, Denise. Let me see what else. I'm glad you're excellent. Regina, hello. Thank you for joining us. Yvette, good evening to you. Let's see. Hey, good to see you, Glenda. Thank you so much. Hey, Faye. Alderman Nick Palumbo of the 4th District. What a day it was. It has absolutely been a day. I am busted. Is that my Annie from New York? Dr. Bailey, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Trell, thank you for joining us. Renee, hello. And I think I see Tabitha. Hello, Tabitha. Hey, Joanne, hope you're doing well. Maggie, hello. Lita, thank you so much. Reverend Vaughn Jackson, thank you. Terry Mobley, thank you for joining us. Sally, hello. Suave. Angie from the DMV, good to see you. Annie, how you doing? Good to see you. Princess, hey Princess, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us all the way from Washington D.C. Well, outside of Washington D.C. Joyce, good evening. Good to see you as well. Tyler, hello. Jareen, hello. Dawn Baker is still alive, y'all. Yes, she is in the Moderna clinical trials, and yes, she's still alive and she's looking great. Good to see you, Dawn. Thank you for what you do. Angel, thank you. Rebecca, yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a moment. Um, Shakim, good evening to you. Yvette, hello. Harry, hello. Good to see you. Good evening, Jeffrey. Hey, Lynette, good to see you. Dr. Angie Lewis, good evening to you. Karina, hello. Cynthia, I am glad you made it back. And Wade, all the way from Twickenham, Georgia. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Hey, see Nicole, that's right. It's your date. We are together. Hey, Clint Middleton, good to see you. Patty, thank you so much. Terentia, thank you so much. Uh, Pastor Thomas Hart and the Queen. She says she loves her mayor. Well, tell her her mayor loves her too. For real, for real. Dolores, good afternoon. Tanya, hey, Futch, good to see you. Aaron, hello. Hey, Jen, hello. Alicia, good to see you. And Pastor Carolyn White, thank you for joining us. Sarah, hello. Sally, hello. Uh, hey, Miss Short Lady, good to see you. Hey, Olga Loto, happy belated birthday. And then, of course, to Elder Erica Hardnett. And I hope you're also having one of the cutest babies in the world, telling Papa hello. Hey, Mrs. Angie Brown, thank you for joining us as well. Who else? Um, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. Hey, Zadonna Slade from over there in South Carolina. Always Savannah. Glad to see you. Leticia Murphy, good to see you. Greta, hello. Robin, hello. Chrissy, it has been a long week. I need you all, and I hope you need me. Takoa, thank you for joining us. Hey, Arlene from the United House of Prayer for all people. Angela, Goodell, hello. Joey, hello. Flo, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Felicia, hello. Cindy Diggs, hello. Lilia, hello. And the Liebermans are on. Bruce and Marsha are on. Molly is not on yet, so something is wrong with that. But I appreciate the Liebermans for joining us. Rita, good to see you. Good evening to you. Beverly, hello. Michael Boyd, hello. Hollis Johnson, thank you so much for your above and beyond today. Y'all rocked as usual, and happy belated birthday, my brother. Ms. Good to the last drop. I'll tell you about that a little later. Jeffrey, thank you. Kathy, hello. Dr. Levette, I hope you got my you got the invitation. Check your emails because I think you're the guest tonight. So Dr. Levette, you need to get in the room. Socially distanced. Mary, hello. Lanisha, hello. You don't have a name. You're just short. That's all. That's all. Hey, Tamara, Terry, good evening to you. Orbadella, hey, Miss Ellerton. Hey, my big brother Van Kennedy, good to see you. Janet, hello as well. Thank you, Harry. I appreciate it. Hello, Grace. Lynette, I want to say hello to Lynette Wright's mom, Mary Holder. Mary Holder, thank you so much for joining us. I'm glad that you are with us. Katie, hey, Katie, good to see you. Hey, Tony Jordan, hip hop, you know. Also, Snow Fields, Brooklyn is in the house. Snow is today's Snow's birthday. Everybody send some love to Snow Fields. Today is her birthday. Charmaine, good evening to you as well. Let's see, who else? Latifa, hello. And thank you so much. Kelly Fletcher, although she don't live in Savannah no more, I'll still say hello to you. Bishop Thomas Sills, Connors Temple Baptist Church, thank you for joining us. I hope we got that issue straightened out. Hey, Michelle, good to see you. And I hope Rich is doing well as well. Janie Williams is on. Royce is on. Thank you for joining us. Kimberly, Bobby Jeffrey has joined us. Hey, Erica Luton, good to see you. Loretta, hello. Sharon Grimes. Gary, thank you so much. I appreciate you as well. Mike, I share it, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Erica, thank you. John, thank you. Annette, thank you. Good to see you as well. Sharon, I love you too. And Sister Tillman, good to see you. It is Friday night, and we are together. Courtney Middleton, happy birthday. Hope you had a blast, and I hope you wore your mask. For real, for real. Hey, Linda Jones, I see Linda on, and Eleonora, Emma Murphy, hello. April, hello. So can I talk about the people's houses that were broken into? Sarah, I don't know what you're talking about. And actually, I heard that somebody was putting my name to that mess. And if someone wants to do that, Sarah, you and whoever else was saying it, call the police, make a report, and put my name in it and see what happens. So we'll talk about that for real. Natalie, hey, Natalie and Mark Tater here. Happy Friday to you. Sandra, hello. Tell Mark, people saying now I broke into their houses, or people, I mean, I wish somebody would go to the police, make a report, and say that I broke into their house, or that I had somebody break into the house. I dare somebody to make a police report alleging that. I just dare you. I mean, we're not having that foolishness. And that mess that was being talked about earlier, that's foolishness. We're not having that. So, but anyway, thank you, Charlotte. I appreciate you as well. I mean, just people with major and minor things and foolishness. We're not having that. This is positivity around here. And if you come with that negative jive, y'all keep on with that. Trina, hello. Mike left your number. We're going to talk a little bit about that, Erica, in just a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. Maisha, I'm being ignored. I don't know what that means. But Sharon, hello. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let me see who else. Then we'll get into it. Get into what we need to get into. Let's see. Dr. Levette, check your email. Check your email. I sent it to your email. Yes, it was a pleasure for me to go and wish a happy 88th birthday to Dr. Idel Chiva, the apostle and overseer of the Pentecostal Miracle Deliverance Center. She is my sweetheart, and I love her, and I thank her so much as well for allowing me to walk all over her grass. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you, Nicole, Kareem, hello. Lanisha, hello. And hello, Melissa. Yes, Dr. Levette, if you check your email, I sent you an email a little while ago with the invitation in it to get on. Catalina, good to see you as well. I appreciate that. Ed, yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the litter. Hey, Danielle, thank you as well. Yeah, we're going to deal with the ignorant stuff in just a little bit. Now, my guest is calling me. Hey, check your email. Dr. Ann Levette? You sure? Yes. Yes, Gmail. See? Got me? All right, thank you. All right, bye. All right. Me and my superintendent, we're on the same page now. So, hey, Stephanie Barker, good to see you. Stephanie Zelna, Anika, hello. Watkins, Sweet Jones, thank you. LaMonica, hello. Narain, hello. Let's say Dina, hello. Tracy, hello. McQuan Green, good to see you, sir. Valeria, hello. Good to see you as well. Tammy, good to see you. Tammy, long time no see. Diane, thank you. Carolyn, thank you as well. Sarah, thank you. Michael, thank you. LaDon, hey, special, good to see you. Adrian as well, thank you all so much. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get into this. Good to see Amari Adams, Adams Funeral Home. I'm glad I'm seeing you and you're not seeing me. And good to see Candy Wall, all of you, Angela Easton, thank you so much for joining us. If it's Friday in Savannah, I want to welcome all the folks here watching on Instagram, Mayor Johnson SAV. Thank you for joining us from Instagram as well. If it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia, if it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia during a pandemic, if it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia during a pandemic, and you are keeping the faith but following the science, if it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia during the pandemic, and you're keeping the faith and following the science, and you don't have somewhere you have to be, if it's Friday in Savannah, Georgia during the pandemic, you're keeping the faith and following the science, you're at home because you have nowhere else you have to be, and it's Friday night, then you're hanging out with me, our weekly hangout night. I mean, I'm gonna get me a DJ here soon. It is Friday Night Live. I'm Van Johnson. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sharing your Friday night with me. And I guess because the weather's a little bit icky, for real, I'm just glad that you're with me. I'm glad you're taking time to be with us. We have people watching Facebook. We have Instagram watching. Again, do me a favor, 2 quick favors. First thing, we want you to share this video. Go ahead and share it. We got a lot to talk about. And when we have friends, we invite friends into our fellowship. So let us go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead. Let's invite people. Share this video. The second thing I want you to do is like my page. Share the video, like this page. If you're on Instagram, like the Instagram, share it. If you're on Facebook, share it, like it. And that way, when we're doing this, you'll know. So I'm sitting here tonight, as I do on Friday nights, with my favorite beverages. Tonight is some Canada Dry ginger ale from way earlier today. And for those of y'all gonna complain, I do have, today is Nestle Splash 0 calories, so y'all should be proud of me. So let's get rolling. A couple of things. The first thing I want to start out with, what an amazing loss for our nation. Before we aired today, shortly before we aired, we heard of the passing of Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. What a phenomenal woman. I mean, wow. I mean, what a life. This lady was something. Died today at 87 years old. She was appointed by President Bill Clinton to the bench, and what an impact she made. Big ups also, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. It's from Brooklyn. So, you know, of course, we spread love to her because that's the Brooklyn way. So much love to her. And if you would, I mean, this woman, I mean, talk about the impact. All of the social dealing with, had it been from affirmative action to the voters' rights, to issues of female reproductive rights. She was at the forefront of these issues. And so I just think, if you don't mind, let's just take a moment of silence for Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Would you just indulge me just for one moment? Thank you very much. And if you would, let's just send out just a whole bunch of hearts to heavens to her. You know, I mean, you know, people come in and they live their lives. This lady beat cancer 5 times. 5 times she defeated cancer. I mean, just an awesome lady. And I'm sad because not only was she a personal shero of mine, you know, the situation we're left with, without me getting too political, is kind of daunting, and I'll just leave it at that. So wanted to do that. Also here today here in Savannah, and let me tell you, if you go there today with hate comments about RBG, you will be blocked. Let's be real clear about that. No hate zone today. We're not having that. If you go there, you will be excused from this conversation. Okay. Now that being said, today the city council interviewed in person for the first time the candidates for our city manager position. Tomorrow is a big day for 5 different panels to interview our 3 finalists. And so, you know, this process is moving along. It was a long day, maybe even a longer day tomorrow. But you know, this is a process we have to go through in order to get a city manager. I'm hoping that we can find a city manager that our entire council, non-votes, can agree on. I'm hoping that will happen. So we'll keep you informed about that. So here we go. Couple of things. So let's go right quick to our board and just talk a little bit about what our numbers are looking like today. Wanted to be able to show you. And let's go take a quick look at where our numbers are today. Today, we're at 302,737 confirmed cases of COVID-19, 6,537 deaths, 27,000 hospitalizations, 4,966 ICU admissions. This is in Georgia, and this is since the pandemic began. If you go down here a little further in the site, you can look reported today, 64 people to die today in the state of Georgia because of COVID-19. Today we had 1,870 confirmed cases and 149 people went to the hospital. This is still our situation. We are still in a dangerous situation. If we go down here to my county, I will tell you that our numbers, although looking better, we're still not out of the woods. If you go halfway down and you look at Chatham County, here where I'm pointing, we have 8,010 confirmed cases since March. We have 145 deaths here in Chatham County, 740 hospitalizations. So I wanted you to know that and wanted you to know what was going on when it related to that. So that being said, we had an event earlier this week. Donald Trump Jr., the son of the President of the United States, came to town. This was held in the Savannah Convention Center. The Savannah Convention Center is not owned by the city of Savannah. It's owned by the state of Georgia. And so although at first they were bringing in masks and everything, by the time the rally occurred, it was people weren't wearing masks. They were not wearing masks, and they were not socially distanced. And so obviously I'm very concerned, remain very concerned about the impact for the people who have to work there. Some of these folks came from all over the place. We don't know what kind of lives they're living. And so I'm just hoping and praying that everything is cool when it gets to that. But two big things I want to talk about today. One being the census, but we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute because we're in the home stretch. But I am very pleased to have with us our superintendent because this has been a week of talking about schools. And so we are very glad and very blessed to have our faithful Friday night liver. We'll call her Dr. Ann Levette, our superintendent. And Dr. Levette, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for making yourself available after what's been a very, very busy week. Now, you have to put the picture on, and you have to, if not, the people are going to blame me, Dr. Levette. So I need you to unmute, and then I need you to show the video, and then we'll go. So, well, we're waiting on you. Wait a minute. All right, let's see. There you go. How are you? Now I need you to unmute.
All right.
There you go. There you go. How are you?
I am good. I am good, and I'm happy to be here on a Friday night. I am drinking Dasani.
Okay.
So,
right.
And
I'm going to ask you. I'm asking what they're drinking now. Some of it's not my business, but you might need a little something stronger after this week.
But I don't want to. All right. So wait. All right.
I hear you. Hello? What's wrong? Okay. So tell us where we're at. Tell us where are we now at this point? Dr. Levette?
All right. So hold on a minute here.
We hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. So where are we? We are at a at a second step, can you hear me, Van?
Yes.
Okay. So we're at a second step in our process of reopening. I'm trying to
Okay.
make sure can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so we are at a second step.
What's wrong? We can hear you. Just keep going. We can hear you.
All right, so you know what? I'm getting feedback, so I think that's the problem.
Oh, okay. Well, you sound fine with us. You might want to turn your volume down.
Okay.
See, I'm a tech whiz. See,
Let me
maybe
turn.
getting feedback. We can hear you. Everybody says they can hear you, and they give you much.
All right,
love.
very good.
Good.
So we're at the second step of the reopening, and that reopening, if
You're good. You're still good, Doc.
okay,
I mean, you're not breaking up at all, so just keep on talking.
all right, good. So we're at the second step. The board required that we have another plan for reopening. We put that into place. They reviewed it this week, and they decided that we could start rephasing people to come in the next. Okay.
We hear you. We hear you. Hello? Let's see what's going on. Can you hear us? I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're not breaking up, so just continue. Yeah, you're good.
All right. So that's where we are. That will start October the 5th. And those persons who are on virtual may remain on virtual.
Okay.
We think that that is smart to remain on virtual because we are still in the red.
And that's the question I wanted to ask because I showed our numbers. Our positivity rates are still high, relatively not as high as we were, but certainly still high. And so, and I think we all recognize the need to get people back in schools. We recognize young people who don't need to be at home at computers. They need to be in school, right. But they have to be in school safely. So, I mean, what is your understanding about current positivity rate and do schools open regardless of what the positivity rate is?
Well, there are lots of schools that are open regardless of the positivity rate.
Right.
And I understand that. But I also recognize that there are differences in how communities and cultures have responded to the to positive cases. Part of our issue is we have 57% African American students who are part of the district. We have 11% Hispanic.
Right.
Now that's 68% of the school district. Our families are traditionally intergenerational as well.
Right.
So I think it's important for us to recognize that science that says we need to be mindful of what's happening. I also know that we're still in the red zone. So we have done as the board instructed, which is to create another option for parents to choose from. But we also have to have teachers who also
Right.
agree to work.
Right.
The board has also directed that no one be demanded to work face to face. So we'll have to see who's interested on both sides and then match those up.
But I've understood that teachers are being told though that if you don't come to, you can stay home, but you may not have your position. I mean, is that correct? Or I mean, how does that go?
They have a contract, so they are going to be working.
Okay.
And we have
But-
children who are learning virtually, so they will be working. And that's my expectation.
What about the fact, what about, I mean, how do you know whether you have enough personnel to support a school? Say you have a school, you have more students, but you don't have teachers enough to support them. I mean, how do you balance the a number of people you have to have in a school to keep a school open with the number of students that come?
Well, the thing about it is we were very clear in saying that if you had more students and you had teachers, then we would put the students on a wait list,
Okay.
just like we do for anything else.
Okay.
But I am dedicated to, the board made its statement clearly that they did not plan for us to demand that teachers teach face-to-face. Those teachers have been teaching the entire time. They've
Right.
just been teaching remotely, and they can still engage that way. We really will not know how many students can participate until we find out how many teachers will agree to teaching face-to-face. Now, I want to make sure people know that we do have teachers who want to teach face-to-face, and we're going to give them that opportunity. And then if we have enough kids, then of course they'll be able to do that. We have teachers and parents who say that's what they want to do. So we'll give them that opportunity. But for most others, they have indicated they wish to continue on virtual, and we're going to accommodate that as well.
Are teachers, as someone asked the question, will teachers who are going, let me see what they said. I saw it was a good question. Are teachers who go in person going to remain in their current schools?
That's our intention if there are enough students, but if they're not, then they could be reassigned. One thing that we made clear earlier this week, was that of course we want you to be able to retain the place that you're in, but we'll have to look at the numbers to see where people finally end up. But our intention is to try to keep people kind of where they are. That makes better sense for us. Does that make sense?
Right, and I think what you've said from the beginning, and you've said it here on this platform, that parents have to make individual choices as it relates to their kids, that they need to be the parent. And if they don't feel safe with their kids going to school, then don't send them to school. I guess my question then becomes, what measures will be in place for kids? I know, and I mean, I've known the parents have sent their kids to school sick, and they know the kid was sick. They didn't say anything till the kid gets to school, has a fever. The kid has had a fever all day long. I mean, the same thing for coronavirus. Parents, they send their kids to school anyway. How do you address that? Obviously, you have to have, school nurses and things in play. This child is coming in contact with a bunch of different people. How do you address that? Or what's your plan?
So that's a really good question. And we were very clear this week on what the conditions would be in order for students to participate. So before we come out of the gate, you have to agree to certain things. Number one, no transportation. So you have to agree to bring your child to school every day on time, pick them up on time. Number two, they will have to get those symptom checks every day like everybody else. So before you can come in the building, we have to know if you have a fever or if you've been around someone who has COVID. The other thing is, if you get sick at school, we send you home. If you come to school sick, we find out you're sick, you have to go home. See, we haven't always, kind of managed that well. Like some kids come to school and they're sick, and then we got to call a lot of people to get somebody to come and pick them up. This time we will take you home if you happen to show up there sick. And
so you're going to take a kid that might have COVID home?
Oh, yes.
Who car they going in?
Because if I leave you at school and you have COVID, guess who else gets COVID?
Yeah, but who car they going in? And who gonna drive? And who gonna drive?
A special vehicle. No, I'm serious.
I'm serious too.
Oh yeah. They also have a litany of things they have to agree to.
Okay.
For example, if there is an infection, those young people will have to be quarantined. So they will not be able to come to school for 14, up to 14 days. So we need parents to make that commitment and have that understanding from the very beginning. They also have to wear a mask all day.
Okay.
So that is part of the whole agreement. So it's not like you just walk in and get to do what you did on March 10th. There are other expectations for you.
All right. Another question here is teachers that stay at home teaching virtual, will they still get paid the same amount as if they teach in person?
Oh yeah, we don't have any kind of supplement for you. If you choose to teach in the building, you get your pay. If you choose to teach from home, you get your pay.
Okay. Someone asked, had you thought about using Beach High School Medical Clinic for a testing site for students?
We have not thought about using it as a testing site for students, but we have considered using it as a testing site for the community.
Thank you.
Yes, so that's why we opened it up, was to serve the community, and it would be a training ground for our nursing students. That is our expectation. So we're working with St. Joe's to come up with an agreement around using it as for COVID testing possibly.
All right, Margaret Kemp wants to know, what about transportation for students?
What about transportation? What?
For students, school buses going to be running?
School buses will not be running, and that's in this first phase. No, it will not.
Okay. Debbie Walker wants to know, what about school psychologists? Are they still going to be available for students?
School psychologists, all of them are working right now. Our school psychs have been doing testing for several days now, probably more than a couple of weeks.
Okay. Maggie wants to know, what about special ed teachers who are older and not comfortable going back?
So for special ed, for any teacher or any person who qualifies under the CARES Act, the Family CARES Act, we advised all employees at the beginning of the return to work that if they had underlying conditions and wanted to take advantage of the CARES Act, that they could do that. But the expectation is that people will be working. They may have a different assignment, or they may be at a different site, or they may be working remotely. But our intention is to keep people employed, but we are expecting people to behave responsibly if they have underlying conditions. And that is to take advantage of whatever benefits there are associated with that.
Okay. There was one about the sites for childcare. I understand you're providing childcare for teachers who are coming to work.
We are providing a learning pod for all employees who need that service. For if they have children enrolled in Savannah Chatham County Public Schools between ages 4 and 12. So they have to be students of our school district, ages 4 to 12. And if they need that service, then we will be able to provide it for them.
All right. Let's see. Who do they talk to about a teacher not willing to help a child with learning disabilities during virtual learning?
Okay, that is not acceptable behavior. So the first thing that the parent should do is contact the principal, contact by email, and they should always send a message in writing so that you have a record that you sent the complaint in. And if they are not able to get that principal in writing, then they can also call, document. But if they ultimately cannot get a response, which normally people respond, if they cannot get a response or for some reason have difficulty reaching them, they can always call our office and we will make the connection for them.
Right. Well, what about paraprofessionals, cafeteria workers? How do you socially distance lunch? I've been in lunchrooms with you, Dr. Levette. I hope when I was that age, I wasn't that like off the chain. I mean, I guess my thing is I mean, I've gone through and I've gone through almost every school in this county. Um, you know, kids are kids. You know, you tell them to walk on this side of the hallway. You know, you tell them stay in line. How do you tell them to stay 6 feet away from each other? How do you tell them if you can't tell them to sit down and be quiet? How do you tell them to keep a mask on, not to touch each other, horseplay? What about things like gym? That I mean, how do tell me about how the school day actually is, and how do you manage that part?
You know, we ran a pilot in June to see how things would work. So we
Right.
had everything socially distanced. It was very artificial because you spend all of your time trying to make sure that children are behaving in an unnatural environment.
Right.
Keeping 6 feet apart, I mean, you can have difficulty with us doing that.
Yeah. Well, look,
Keeping our
we
mask
do
on.
now. Look at the convention center this week. I'm sorry
Okay.
about that. Bad me.
Well, it's going to be very artificial, but now can the kids do it? Yes, but it will take some training to make sure that they can do that. But what we're trying to tell people is you can think that they're going to come back into a natural environment. It's not going to be natural. For those who want to be in a room with their friends and be able to talk to each other face to face, that will be there, but it will require lots of discipline, lots of monitoring. And if kids do not cooperate, they will not be able to stay in that environment.
Right. Have the HVAC systems in the schools been updated?
They have been, many of them have been updated. Have they been updated specifically with special units based on the pandemic? No, we cannot afford that.
Right.
And I mean, that we don't have that money set aside and is not covered by CARES Act. I mean, we have 55 buildings, 64 sites total. We have not replaced every system. No, we have not.
And that was from Melissa. And Slice wants to know if a student comes up positive, do the siblings in another grade or class, are they automatically quarantined?
If that student has had contact with any other student or adult for more than 15 minutes, sustained contact, of course, we're going to look at the entire situation, but it is a strong possibility that as a close contact with that student, that they will be asked to quarantine for 10 to 14 days.
Will the substitute teachers fall under the CARES Act?
Substitute teachers do not fall up under CARES Act as far as I know, but I could be wrong on that, so I'm not really sure.
Okay. Well, you are definitely getting a lot of love here. And I want to say up front, I mean, this is hard for the board. It is hard for you. As hard as my job is today, I've told people I do not want to be superintendent of schools, certainly not a school board member, because you are absolutely damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You hear people screaming, we want our kids back in school, very legitimate reasons. I mean,
Yes.
If you're a parent and you have to work, you can't just leave your kids at home. You just can't do that. You can't leave them home unsupervised. And then,
Right.
The ability, and I hope from this experience that people begin to really appreciate teachers. I've heard people say some whack stuff about teachers, but they found out this homeschool stuff is not as easy as it seems.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of parents have found out how off the chain some of their kids are when they realize that in a learning environment, they're a whole lot different than when you just see them in the evenings and on weekends and during holidays and vacations. So I hope that they come back with a much greater appreciation for those who have chosen the vocation of education. I hope that they're much more supportive of the work that they do. But I think, you just had a hard time. I mean, I know kids need to be in school because, nurses and other professionals that get to see a child in terms of child abuse and neglect. But on the other end of it, I mean, we've been saying safety needs to be first. And I pray to God that we don't open up on October 5th and on October 20th, we have to close again because we've had an outbreak.
Correct.
And what we do in the city of Savannah and other municipalities affects what happens in school. So when people don't wear their mask out in the streets and they bring it home and these kids go to school, it affects everybody. And so I just wanted to shout you out and thank you. You have definitely, you continue just to impress me how you just do this face on. And I mean, I said I wasn't going to watch the school board meeting, but I ended up watching it just because it was just so fascinating to me. I think you just have to strike the right balance. You just do. But I want to thank you for definitely keeping safety at the front of the conversation.
Well, I appreciate the leadership that we all have demonstrated around staying with the science.
Right.
And I'll tell you what else that I think is really important to recognize. We have so many people in the community, grandmothers, grandfathers, neighbors, and friends who come together to ensure safe places for our children. We have Wi-Fi buses in the community. We also have a very strong group of clergy who have come together and created very safe learning spaces for our children.
Yes, sir.
I mean, we have to give them a shout out because churches generally are closed for most of the week, and some of them are not having Sunday services, but they are providing for small groups of children safe learning places. And we could not do it without people stepping up. And I want to give a shout out to all those grandmothers and neighbors and friends, and also to our religious leaders who have taken these children in, giving them the love that they needed and the safe place they need to do their work. And I'm incredibly grateful. The school district is operating in a limited way, but we try to support as much as we can. This week, we were very fortunate to have you, Paula Wallace, SCAD, Arena, and, to come together and provide those computers to the churches who are providing those pod services. That was absolutely incredible. In fact, you could give me one of those computers. But
Look, the computers we gave them, and let me give them some background. This is a part of our Savannah Faith Collaborative. From that group of Savannah Faith, which is over 200 ministers, clergy, rabbis, imams, and temple leaders, from that came a group called RISE, Religious Institutions Supporting Education. And they've been meeting with Dr. Levette and myself, really trying to find ways of how they could be more engaged in the educational process. They have fellowship centers, they have space, and so they've been working with us and volunteering their space and their time and their personnel to help support the learning environment. And as a result of that, working with SCAD and Dr. Paula Wallace and Erin Tandy, we were able to get 160 literally brand new Apple and PC computers that were donated to the city of Savannah, which in turn we donated to the churches that and the houses of faith that were doing this initiative. So now you have people in the communities that are actually helping to do this work. And the fact is, Savannah Love means coming together and people working together. You say the 38,000 of your kids, we say they're our kids too.
That's right. And that's what we appreciate. One of the things that I can say when I leave this job, that I know that because of our passion and our love for children, that we have been able to come together. We've been able to come together to provide critical services for our children and families when they needed it most. Are we able to do everything we would like? Probably not, but we have done more than I think we ever envisioned us being able to do. And I'm grateful for that. I don't mind shouting out to anybody who really wants to make sure that our children grow up well in this city. And it takes leadership to do that. It takes guts to do it. It takes just thinking about somebody other than yourself to make it happen. So thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your support of our children, our families, and helping me to get those ministers together so we can make good things happen. And we're going to continue to rise. We
Yeah,
will rise
we are
from
all
the.
in this together. We are
That's
all
right.
we are all in this together. And I mean, although people will turn around and say, well, that's not really my responsibility. And sometimes it's not. But I think public education is the public's responsibility.
That's right.
Because we know what happens when young people are not educated. They grow up to be older people who are not educated. And we know if you're not uneducated, we can pay for it now or we can pay for it later. And we know oftentimes people with jobs and careers don't have time to do crime. We know that. And so another big shout out. We just appreciate, SCAD so much for the partnership. And again, I can't say enough about Erina Tandy, who is the bomb.com in her new role of external affairs, and then Dr. Paula Wallace and SCAD. Again, these were nice freaking computers. They were, like I said, nicer than mine. And I was looking at them real hard. But more importantly, our kids get to use state-of-the-art technology, which again, in some of these communities, gives them a heads up. We know we still have a digital divide in our community. And so I'm just glad that we were able to work together, find ways to work together to help make it happen. But you're pretty awesome.
Thank you
too.
for your leadership.
No,
We're going to
pretty
continue
awesome
to follow
too,
the
Dr.
science.
No, but you are pretty awesome. I want you to know, sometimes you just need to hear that. I think you're an awesome superintendent. Again, and then it's even better. Here you are leading a system that you grew up in and taught in, and you're coming back here to lead it during certainly the most challenging times that we've ever had. I just want to let you know how much we appreciate you for that. So,
well, thank you.
I'm getting my ginger ale, and cheers. Cheers.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Love you.
Thank you. And get you some rest, please, because we're only 2 days away from Monday.
I know. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. All right. So that was Dr. Ann Levette. Again, we're just excited to have her here with us this evening, and we're moving along here. Thank you all for your support of public education. So also very glad to have with us, and he's been waiting for quite some time, but I have to get him on to talk about something that is so important. It is so important. I know you get tired of me talking about it. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. But it's so important because for everything that we do at this point, we are at crunch time. It is September 30th is the last day that you will hear us say census here in Savannah. And Savannah is not where we need to be. We are just not there. We are not there. And I hate looking into the man of God's face when I see him, because he makes me feel bad that Savannah has not done what we should do, what we could do, what we're capable of doing about the 2020 census. So the pastor of the historic First African Baptist Church, the oldest African-American congregation in the United States or North America?
North America.
In North America. But tonight, also the senior presiding prelate of the United States 2020 census, Pastor Thurman Neal Tillman. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Greetings, my mayor. Listen, I'm so grateful for all that you have done and tried to do to make sure that everybody connected with Savannah was counted in the 2020 census. Yes, we're down to the last part of this. September 30th is the last day that you will actually have an opportunity to get counted. I can't say enough. We need to go to my2020census.gov and go ahead and do it online. Our numbers for now, in the entire United States, those who have self-reported, 66% of everybody throughout the United States have self-reported. For the state of Georgia, 61.5% of everybody in Georgia has reported. Now, let me say this about Georgia. Georgia is 47 out of 50 with a 47th as far as being able to respond online as well as answering the door when the enumerators are knocking on the door. We're
47 out of 50.
We're 47 out of 50.
All right, now
That's the state of Georgia.
hold up. Now, I mean, when I went to school, we had 50 states. And so that means that there are 46 states in front of us in terms of our reporting.
That is correct.
See,
So now, but I gotta give Savannah its due. Let me finish with the numbers. Georgia then is at 61.5% of self-responding. Chatham is at 59.5% of self-responding, and Savannah is at 55.8%. Now,
that's just half. That means that's half our money.
And that is correct. Now we have Southwest Georgia numbers are a lot less or lower than what Chatham County than our numbers are. Those are areas that are having difficulty with being online, with being able to have internet access. So the people are still knocking on their doors, but yet people, when they knock on their door, some people still don't want to answer. They didn't.
People have told me, they're like, look, who is it? It's the census people. I mean, they're killing us. Answer your door.
And listen, they're socially distancing themselves. They will have on masks, and they will have ID to show you that they are census personnel and a bag that has U.S. Census on it. So they're clearly identified, and all they need to get is the information of everybody in the household. Now, if people still don't want them knocking on their door, go to my2020census.gov and complete the information. Right. Or they can also call in. If they have an issue with getting on the computer, they can't, for whatever reason, feel like they really can't do it, they can call an 800 number. And that 800 number is 844-330-2020. 844-330-2020. And what they would do is they would take the information over the phone.
So, I mean, we've said this so much about issues of representation, issues of funding. This cuts across the meat of our society. How many kids are in a class? Funding for schools, roads, bridges. Our CARES Act money. We got that money based on population. We are still living off of the numbers from literally 10 years ago.
Right.
I mean, so my problem was I understood that the census ends September 30th, but we're living in a pandemic. Everything is off crazy. I mean, people, the Revenue Service pushed back tax day from April 15th to July 15th, understanding that things were different. Why won't the Census Bureau say, all right, we know the president has to have it by the 31st. Why can't we push it back 30 days or 60 days to give more people? I mean, this is not just a Savannah issue. This is happening all over the country.
Right. So this is where we are. If you go to the census response rate, the 2020 census response rate map, it's a map that you could go online and look at. The 2020 census response rate map. You will see that many of the states that are not in the South, many of the northern states have a higher percentage rate of people who responded to the census than those in the South. Now, this is just me talking, I believe that's because in the last census, they recognized that they lost representation and lost dollars because their numbers weren't as high. So therefore, they're making sure that everybody's getting counted, which means we won't see the effect of everybody not getting counted in 2020 until 2021, 2022, when it comes back with the numbers and they start doing redistricting and all of that. Now, I have to deal with what we have and what we can do, no matter what we talk about, what we woulda, coulda, shoulda, we wish we hadn't had the pandemic and all of this sort of stuff. The fact is, all we can do is respond to the census now. Everybody, make sure you go to my2020census.gov. Make sure your cousin goes, make sure your neighbor goes, make sure everybody who you like goes, make sure people who you don't like go. That's what I like about the census. when it comes to the census, you love everybody because you need everybody to respond because they're going to be messing with your money if they don't respond.
So, I mean, we've been saying this before, but I mean, the fact of the matter is this: if you don't, I mean, people saying, "Oh, well, I don't want the police to find me." Let me make it real clear: if you have a wanted fugitive in your house that is wanted by the FBI, and this guy is living in your house, if a census worker comes up there and gets the name of this guy, they cannot share his information, right?
Can't share it with anybody
They can't even
else.
tell the FBI that the #1 most wanted guy is living at your house.
They cannot share information unless they want to be the #1 wanted by the FBI. We could be fined up to $250,000 and or spend up to 5 years in prison. And that's listen, I can tell you what happened in the 2000 census. I did 1990 2000 census. There was an enumerator that actually saw people on the corners selling drugs, or at this house selling drugs. They're a good citizen, on top of being not a volunteer, but a paid census employee who's sworn to this earth. So they decided on their own that they're going to be a good citizen and tell somebody that there were folks selling drugs around the corner, by his house, whatever else. Immediately, before they got back to the office, they were fired and everything was taken from them because census, those who are participating with the census, could care less. I mean, I shouldn't say care less, could respond less to whatever going on, because if you can compromise the confidentiality of those who are receiving the information, then we'll never be able to get information from anybody in the time. You can't tell the landlord, can't tell best friend, can't tell cousin, can't tell anybody else about what somebody placed on their census form. Confidential for 72 years. So that means
now,
only what you can see.
Right now,
only one you can see now are those from 1940.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Now, the census from this year you can't see until 2072.
Yes, 72 years from now.
So I'm gonna probably be the only one on this feed still around. But I thought the reason was because they said, at the time, 72 was the lifespan. And so the information was not supposed to be seen during the lifespan of the people living there, right?
Right, but you know that, but they did that years ago. So lifespan is so they could change that any time.
Right.
But, yeah.
So what we have, we have a little less than 500 people watching right now. What Pastor Tillman can we tell folks to do right now to make sure we get this out? We're in the final push here. We're
Okay.
12 days out before this thing is shut down, before you come back to us full time. What do we need to do, Pastor, at this point?
All right. What we want everybody to understand is what you said 1,000 times. This information is extremely important. It's important for our city, our state, our county, our nation. It's very important. Now, when I say it's very important, keep this in mind. That data is used by others to do grants. Whatever else they're going to do, they're going to use census information to determine about jobs and job growth and all of this. I remember talking to a group of ladies, young ladies, who were saying to me, well, that's not important to us. That's awful. Why we care about what the census says, whatever. And I had to think about it. And it's not in my normal script. But I said to them, okay, once this data comes back, would you like to know, by looking at census data, would you like to know the number of males that there are between the age of 21 and 30 living in a particular city or county or census tract? Does that mean, they said, ooh, we better participate in that, because males want to know how many females. So whatever the information you get, it's going to come back to census. So if you realize how important it is and you really want to be counted, you have to go to my2020census.gov. If you want to get counted and for some reason you can't get online, just pick up the phone and dial 844-330-2020. If you speak Spanish and you want to speak to somebody in Spanish, 844-468-2020. 844-468-2020. If you speak Korean, 844-392-2020. if you speak Russian, 844-417-2020. I mean, we go on and on and on with this because we want to make sure everyone gets counted. It's confidential, it's safe, it's easy, and we want you to know it's extremely important.
Now I shouldn't do this, but you know, I'm gonna go ahead and respect the Noops. Dr. Tony Jordan says hello to you, sir.
Well, listen, I want to thank also how Brothers of Kappa Alpha Psi actually took pictures, put it on social media, with respond to the 2020 census. And
Well, the Alpha's going to do it too, man. No, the Alphas are going to do it too. I already got that down.
We want to make sure. We're going to see who get more phone counted. That's what we want to see.
Yeah, we'll see who get that done. So what I want everybody to do for me is every day from here on out, from here to the 30th, I'm posting something every day about the census. All I want you to do is share it. I mean, I'm going to do it on Instagram, I'm going to do it on Facebook, and I'm going to do it on Twitter. All I want you to do is when I post it, I want you just to share it. And let's get people out. I mean, let's make sure you're not, if you're on here, that you've done it. If not, we're not mad at you. You could do it right now. My2020census.gov is right there behind Rev. 2020census.gov or my2020census.gov. And it took me 4 minutes. It took me 4 minutes for me and everybody in my house. 4 minutes. And so please, it's very, very important. And Mary Smalls, thank you. Mary Smalls did something. Oh, don't do it. Oh, let that go.
Well, I want you to know that this is sugar-free, you know, no sugar fruit juice with a little bit of diet ginger ale. So everybody know, I got mine too.
All right, this is a flavored orange splash. So
to the census.
to the census. Well, thank you so much. Alicia Johnson is on. As you know, Step Up Savannah is a huge supporter of the census. So we appreciate that. And Brenda, thank you so much for doing that. We want you to be counted. We're going to talk about voting next week. But right now, we got to put a full press on this census. And hopefully you'll come. Let's figure out a way to get you on next week to talk about it again. We only have like, what, 2 more times to do it?
That's it.
That way, yeah, we got 1 more time to do it.
Yes, that's it.
1 more Friday to do it. So we're going to get it done. But Pastor Tim, I want to thank you so much. Again, you have represented Savannah well in the region again, from here all the way through Columbus. And so, you know, we feel pretty good if things are in your capable hands. But this is something we have to do together. And I thank you so much for that.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
All right. Thank you. So we want everybody to do it. I'm going to be posting every time I'm going to be posting stuff. I'm going to be posting. I'm going to need you. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need your help. I'm just going to need your help. And I want you to help me to do the right thing. Help me make this happen. You can do it on your cell phone. You're absolutely correct. You can get this done on your cell phone. Just go ahead and let's get that done. Let us all make sure that we're counted for the 2020 census. So let me see if we got any questions to deal with tonight. And I'll take a couple, and then we'll let everybody go on back to living their best lives as well. So, so give us one moment, and let's see what else we got going on. Let's see. And again, want to shout out love to everybody watching on Instagram. Instagram is on Mayor Johnson SAV. You are watching. Happy and appreciate you being on. So thank you, Instagram. Thank you, Instagram followers. One moment. So let's figure out how. Let's see. I get my volume down too. Let's see. And get one. There we go. So let's see. Any questions? Who else agrees with the man? Yeah, Ed. Ed, I agree with you about the litter problem. It is a problem, and some of it is structural to me, and some of it is human. You know, I mean, we have to stop throwing stuff in the street. But on the other end of it, we have to have more trash cans. There's a 2-second rule. People look twice. I look around, there's not a trash somewhere close, they throw stuff in the trash. And so my position on that is we have to provide more trash cans across the city. And then we have to start finding some people who start littering, and we have to educate people on littering. So it is. Robin, when will the 3-year rule for rehire get changed in Savannah? Actually, that might get changed in the coming weeks. I think that's the stupidest thing we've done. What Robin is referring to is that there's a rule that I don't know if you get fired from the city of Savannah, that you have to wait 3 years before you get rehired again. That is stupid. I've done personnel management now for well over 25 years. The fact of the matter is sometimes things don't work out with this employer in this department. You might do well in other departments. It happens. So I think it's a stupid rule, and I'm the mayor, and I'm going to figure out a way to change it because I don't like that rule. But I was familiar with it. So hope that answers your question. Let's see. Yes. See, Nicole says, stop throwing masks in the streets. That is nasty. So please, ma'am and sirs, stop doing that. Your gloves too. Don't do that. It's nasty. Shantae asked about the housing rental task force. It started, our first meeting was yesterday. And so they are getting it up and they're getting it going. And so I'm excited about their work. It'll take about 6 to 9 months to come up with that. Now, in terms of rent, the fact is that, that's a rental relationship, but we have to provide affordable housing. So I hope that answers your question. As it relates to the trash and stuff, we have to take better care of our homes and take better care of our streets. When I see something out, I pick it out. So I want to make sure that, we get that part taken care as well. So thank you for that question. What about taking a pay cut? Will you change positions? Audrey wants to know. Well, hey, Vanya, good to see you. Well, it depends. Again, I'm in personnel. If you are transferring to a position on the same classification as the position you're on, then, that's fine. But if you're going to a position that's lower, why would you keep your higher salary for doing a position that's class lower? Just like if you move from the position you're at and you go to a higher class position, you should get paid more. So, I think that depends on the position you leave and the position you go into. I think if you go in from the city manager to being a technician, that there should be a significant pay cut because you have less responsibility, less span of control. And so I think that has to be addressed. Lisbeth says that St. Leo University is open and ready for new students. Fall 12 starts October 15th. Come see us and sign up for the new term. So that's a commercial for St. Leo University. Thank you very much, Ms. Moore. St. Leo University is open and they are ready for new students. Let's see. What else we got? Any more questions before I get up out of here? Yeah, Elaine, I've gone by and I pick up stuff too. I carry some gloves with me and I just reach down and pick it up. Again, we have to, if you want people, if people see that you litter in the streets, they litter in the streets. It's like the broken windows theory. So that's true. Let's see. Trying to think of what else. Linda, what about pity savers littering up the neighborhood? I think you can call the pity saver and tell me you don't want that coming there anymore. So I think you could do that. Let me see what else we got. All right. See, Nicole, I want you to go back and I want you to finish school. Okay? I want you to go back and finish school. You could do this. Oh, I know what I'm going to say before I leave. And again, I did a PSA, a low PSA about it. Suicide is real. This is Suicide Prevention Month. Life is hard. Life is strange. Life is difficult. Life will make you think sometimes that you are losing your mind. And so um, we want you to know, because everybody knows we could put on, really great faces during the day, make people think things are going well, and and it's not. Um, so we want to make sure that you know during the Suicide Prevention Month that there is help available. We want you to know that we care about you. Um, that if you feel like life has gotten too hard, you're ready to give it up. You're ready to take yourself out of the equation. That is called suicide, and suicide is not cool. There's help available 24 hours a day. You can call 800-273-8255, 800-273-8255. There are people there that care about you. And then to be honest with you, although some of the people, and I mean, you look at and Facebook and social media is really a good indicator, because let me tell you a quick secret. People who sometimes on Facebook, they get to lie about their real lives. I know a bunch of people on social media, and I know that the lives they post and the lives they live are two totally different things. See, Nicole, you said you need funds to go, then call Elizabeth Moore and see if we can get some funds to go. Come on, you can do it. 4 classes, girl. I'll make a contribution to help you get that bachelor's degree. But anyway, the point is this. People act like, oh, we're doing good. Here's a picture of my food. Here's a picture of my vacation. I've had people that I know take pictures in cars I know they don't own, because they want you to think they're living better than what they're living. I'm just telling the truth. They're on Instagram. This is, my life. I'm turning up. I'm having a good time with all my friends, and some don't even have those friends. It's the truth. And so you look at that and you think, well, if my life is not going like that, then maybe, I'm not doing as well. The fact is, they're not doing it either. You're just being a little bit more transparent with yours. If you feel like you're losing a grip, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. Nothing wrong with that. We care about you. This is Friday night date night. We look forward to you being here, hanging out. We got people to talk, and then we have people who don't talk. Some of y'all just come on and read the comments and stuff. They want to criticize me for what I'm drinking. But I want you to know we care about you. You're okay. You can make this thing happen. Things turn around. I'm a living witness that the darkest time of night is just before day. There's light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to hold on and get to it. And it's hard. It is hard. I've seen people through this have lost both of their parents due to COVID in a short period of time. People who have lost their homes, lost their jobs, relationships have broken up. Their bodies are ailing. I wake up every morning knowing and understanding that there is someone bigger than you and I. And as long as I remember that, as long as I understand that, as long as I know things will get better, even if I don't know how they're going to get better, then that's what life is all about. That's what it's all about. So, believe with me, things are going to get better. We don't know how. We don't know when, but we know that it will, and we know that we have to be around to see it happen. So if we're having these low moments, reach your hand up for some help. Let somebody help you through that moment, because we need you to be empowered, that when somebody else needs some help, you can reach down and pull them out. No man is an island. We all need somebody. And in the words of the great Bill Withers, we all need somebody to lean on. And we do. We do. We do. We do. God bless you all. I know we went way over tonight, an hour and 20 minutes, but I appreciate you all. Appreciate you tolerating me. We are Savannah Strong because we show Savannah love. We show Savannah love to our schools and teachers. We show Savannah love by doing the census. We show Savannah love by calling 911 if we need help, if we need the suicide prevention hotline, if we feel like we're losing it. You call me if you feel like, hey, I'll talk to you. I'll tell you how special you are. I think you're all of that. God bless you all. Have a great night. Again, thank you for joining me. And again, big shouts out to all of our great friends. Kim Wilson. Kim Wilson. Yes, I'm shouting out you out, Kim Wilson, so you won't have a heart attack that I didn't shout you out. So, Kim, thank you so much for joining us. Good night, everybody. God bless.